What is good, YouTube? And as you guys probably know by now, if you guys don't, basically there is an event coming where it's basically called the Wishbinder gift. And when you're summoning in the permanent summon for about a week, starting from the 7th until the 14th on reset, you will start earning Wishbinder points. Now you have to keep in mind this is only generated by summoning on the permanent banner. So Apex summons don't matter. If you're summoning for Lilium, they won't actually count. So you want to start hoarding your purple summons, and as you keep summoning, you'll reach certain thresholds with points that you generate by summoning, and then you'll pretty much claim rewards similar to a lot of the events they run, like the Giada event or the currently running Chakra Ring event, and you'll be able to get Golden Lattice, Quantum Cipher Box, which will include 3 SSRs you can choose from, supposedly, Klaus, Veronica, and Tsukiyomi, and also the Quantum Prototype. This is going to be the red disc that you get from the day 14 check-in event when you first make your account. And today we're just going to be going over which character out of Klaus, Veronica, and Tsukiyomi you guys should actually be going for. Now, if you guys have progressed through the game somewhat, I think it's pretty obvious which one you want to go for, but in case you don't know, or in case you already have that character, which is going to be Klaus, we're going to talk about the other options and why they are good. I think all 3 characters are actually very good characters, and it really comes down to what you actually want for your account. So let's actually start off with Klaus, because this is the one that everyone is pretty much going to go for if you don't have her, and this character is going to be a must get if you don't have. And it doesn't matter if you have already beaten through PvE. The reason why I recommend her is because whenever new PvE content comes out in the future, she is going to be hands down one of the best supports in the game for that new content. You see it all the time in Hardered Anasync Echoes. You can use it in Ember Trek if you're progressing. If you're struggling with Rengokutsu Inferno, or even Doki Doki Inferno, or even Teramaton Inferno, she is going to be amazing. And the reason is because of her passive that applies hacking progress. So every single hit she does applies hacking progress. This hacking progress puts a debuff on the boss that makes them take more damage and deal less damage to you. And you can see when it's fully maxed out, you'll see that it will make you do 25% extra damage, which is slightly less than vulnerable, which is already very powerful, and you take 40% less damage. That is insane, and bosses cannot actually dispel this off if they have a dispel effect, so Teramaton's arm cannot dispel it off him, so it makes him do a ton less damage. It makes Rengokutsu do a ton less damage, and on top of that, you get a defense down and a speed down, so you're doing even more damage, and the debuff takes forever to go off because you're just speed downing the boss and you can lap him forever. On top of that, you have this S2, which is great. It's an AoE turn meter steal. You will steal the turn meter from the enemy, so you'll push them back and then give it to your team. So it's amazing for even lengthening the debuff duration of your S3 even longer. And then you have your S1. So your S1 is also very strong because it just applies that hacking progress. And this debuff is so broken that it just makes this S1 very strong. So definitely one of the best PvE characters in the game. In PvP, you're not going to really ever use her. Maybe in the early game when you're like cleaving for early game PvP. But for the most part, she's not that great for PvP because her turn meter push isn't good enough. And her debuffs, although they're great, you're going to encounter a lot of dispellers and purifiers later on when you're climbing the ranks. And it just really shuts her down because she doesn't have a dispel in her kit. Now, she does have the highest base speed though, so you can use her for cleave teams like I mentioned if you want. But for the most part, mostly going to be for PvE, and she's really easy to build on PvE. You just put her on full speed and effect accuracy, and because her base speed is so high, it makes it so that she is really easy to get to high speeds. Definitely recommend her. If we actually go to like areas of content where she's good in, you're going to see that she's in so many different areas of content. For Doki Doki, she is by far the best debuffer in the game. Just because of the fact that she does so much. Speed down is so good, hacking progress makes your team take way less damage. You can see every team that's not a one-shot team, almost every team is going to have access, or not have access, but use Klaus. The only exception is Giada teams. Because Giada already has defense down, you won't actually need Klaus for Doki Doki. But outside of that, if you're using like Romoka or different teams, she's very good here. If we go to Rengokutsu, you're going to see that she's also used here a lot of the time. So there's 2 different comps you can run. You can run like the Sanya Viper comp, which is, in my opinion, the most stable one. But if you're looking for faster clears at the cost of a little bit of win rate, the Klaus Viper, Klaus Lingluo Vice comp is actually going to be a little bit faster, but you will sacrifice some win rate, and it's going to be slightly harder to gear. But, Kloss, you can see, is used in very hard areas of content, and even though she's not used for the fastest clears later on, if you are newer to the game progressing through PvE, she is pretty much going to be a must-have on your account. She will make your game progression a lot easier. So that's it for Kloss. Let's actually talk about the two other characters. My mouse is like freaking out. We'll talk about Tsukiyomi and Veronica. So let's actually talk about Veronica first. I think she's underrated, but I think people that play PvP know how strong she is. Basically in PvE content, you're only ever going to use her in Teramaton. One-shot comps actually use her because she has the soul ward. So this is very good because it stops you from dying, so Teramaton boss can't take another turn. And also she can steal buffs, so she steals the immunity from the boss, which allows you to actually be able to one-shot it, which is great. And in PvP, she's amazing if you're playing her into teams that, are stacking Bulwark, because you can steal the Bulwark and then control them. You can also use her against Bruisers because you can steal a lot of the really good buffs that they get, like, Whale Prayers, defense buffs, and stuff like that, while putting her on a tanky build. So she's a very good PvP character. If you're looking for a good PvP character, I'd say she's very good. The other character we're going to talk about, though, is Tsukiyomi. This character is going to be more flexible in PvE, while also being very good in PvP. However, she's more limited in PvP. So she's very good because she has 100% turn meter push with attack and speed buff. So this sounds really broken, but it's only for one target. And you have to realize her base speed isn't the highest at 122. We saw Kloss's at 128, Lily's at 127. So you will have to have better gear to outspeed people. But this is amazing if you push up like a Messiah, a Yelly, just anything that has AoE damage that can cleave, because you just put them on full damage and you just boost them up to their turn while giving them attack buff. So it's really, really good. Her other skills don't really matter too much. She has like this AoE silence, which is great. It can come in clutch. You have your S1, which will turn meter push your ally with the highest attack. So for PvP cleave, she is an amazing character. So if you're looking for a good cleave enabler and you don't have Lily, she's a really good option. Also, if you don't have Lily, she's amazing because you can use her in areas of content such as Aurora. She's amazing in Aurora as a turn meter pusher. She also gives speed buff, which is amazing to your entire team. She also is good in Doki Doki for the most part, and she's going to be good in like Nico Nana and just like random areas. So if you're really struggling in Aurora and need a good turn meter pusher and you don't want to use Nilou for some reason, then Tsukiyomi is a very good option while being a very good PvP cleave option as well. So these are the three characters that are coming. Basically, I really recommend Kloss. I do think she's a little overrated, to be honest, in terms of if you are already clearing PvE content, you probably don't need to pull her if you want to pull a PvP character. But outside of that, I think she's an amazing character for progressing. She makes your life so much easier because you do more damage, take less damage, you lap the boss, just everything combined. And outside of that, if you're into PvP for the most part, Tsukiyomi is very good for cleavers, and Veronica is good for more standard bruiser playstyles, with Tsukiyomi being better for Aurora, and Veronica being better for Teramaton. Now, I will be showcasing these characters when it actually gets closer to the release of the Selector, which is going to be in about 4 days, I believe. And even though I don't have Tsukiyomi, it just makes it obvious that I'm going to go for her with my summons, and hopefully I have enough summons saved up to get her, because I really want her, because even though I don't need her for PvE, I want to do some shenanigans in PvP with some cleaving. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.